If you're a man over 60 and your erections aren't as firm as they used to be, if you're tossing and turning at night and your energy is fading, here's something you should know. It's not just stress. Many times, it's because you're missing one crucial vitamin every night, one that helps your blood, nerves, testosterone, and yes, your manhood. I'm Dr. Laura. For more than 30 years, I've helped men get back their strength, confidence, and performance when they thought it was gone for good. And here's what I've found. Most men aren't broken. They just need the right nighttime nutrients to heal and perform. While you sleep, your body isn't just resting, it's repairing. It's fixing blood flow, balancing hormones, and getting you ready for the next day, but only if it has the right fuel. Most men don't get enough, and that's why so many wake up tired, slow, or weak where it counts. In this video, I'll share 7 must-have vitamins, plus 2 surprising facts most men never hear, why so many struggle, and what changes you'll see after 7, 14, and 30 nights. Stay with me, and I'll show you how one simple bedtime fix could improve circulation, bring back strength, and restore the deep sleep and strong erections you deserve. Before we begin, if you haven't already, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss science-backed tips to revive your energy, erections, and sleep naturally. If this video speaks to you, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and tell me how I can help you stay healthy after 60. Now, let's start with the first and most ignored key to regaining nighttime strength: vitamin D3, not in the morning, but right before bed. This small change can help boost testosterone, improve circulation, and set the stage for the deep, healing sleep your body needs. 1. Vitamin D3, the sleep hormone trigger eye. Remember one patient, Robert, 68, who came to me feeling hopeless. He was healthy by most measures, no heart disease, no diabetes, but he was drained. His sleep was light, his mornings were slow, and intimacy felt like a thing of the past. He looked at me and said, "Doc, I don't feel like a man anymore." After a few simple tests, it was clear what was missing. He was severely low in vitamin D3. Most people think of vitamin D3 as something you get from sunlight or take in the morning. But here's what I've learned after 30 years of helping men. When you take D3 is just as important as how much you take. Taking it before bed does something powerful. Vitamin D3 works with your body's natural repair cycle, helps control melatonin, the hormone that helps you sleep deep and wake refreshed. But it also boosts testosterone production while you sleep. Your body is meant to rebuild itself at night, repairing tissue, improving circulation, and restoring hormones. But without D3, those processes slow down. And this isn't just about hormones. It's about blood flow. Vitamin D3 supports the lining of your blood vessels, the same tissue that releases nitric oxide, the molecule your body needs to start and keep an erection. Without enough, your arteries stiffen, circulation weakens, and erections suffer. What made Robert's story amazing wasn't just how fast things changed, was how simple the fix was. He started taking just 1 dose of vitamin D3 at bedtime. Nothing fancy, just the right form at the right time. Within a week, his sleep got better. In 2 weeks, his energy returned. And by week 3, he walked into my office with a grin. He said, "Doc, I woke up hard as a rock." For the first time in over a year, I thought that part of my life was over. That's the power of one well-timed vitamin. Not a dozen pills, not a cabinet full of supplements, just one key nutrient given to your body when it knows how to use it best. This isn't magic. It's working with your body, not against it. So if you're over 60, tired of waking up, feeling weak, foggy, or flat, don't overlook this. Vitamin D3 before bed could be the missing piece. One small step that could lead to bigger mornings, deeper rest, and a steady rise in your natural energy. But here's where it gets even more interesting. While vitamin D3 sets the stage, the next vitamin I'll show you plays a very different role. It calms the nervous system, sharpens your mental focus, and quietly fuels the hormones that keep you feeling like yourself. Most men miss this one completely. Let's take a closer look. 2. Vitamin B6. The drive and calm balancer. When I think about the quiet power of vitamin B6, I think of Harold. He was 71, retired Navy, still sharp, still strong, but something inside him had dimmed. "I'm not depressed," he said, "but I feel flat, like there's no fire anymore." I asked him about his sleep. He said it was Pachea, a couple of hours here, then he'd wake up and his energy was gone by lunchtime. Then I asked about his libido. He looked away and said, "That part of me has been fading for years." And I understood. I've heard it 1,000 times. The truth is, by the time most men reach 60, their brain and body start slipping out of sync. You're tired, but your mind won't shut off. You want intimacy, but the signal just doesn't travel like it used to. That's where vitamin B6 makes all the difference, especially when you take it before bed. B6 plays a key role in producing dopamine, the brain chemical that gives you drive, motivation, and desire. But it also helps produce GABA, the calming neurotransmitter that quiets the mind and allows you to fall into deep, uninterrupted sleep. It's this rare balance of energy and calm that makes B6 so powerful. When you take it at night, it signals the body to shift gears, to stop racing and start rebuilding. And deep inside that sleep cycle, B6 is helping trigger a cascade of hormones that affect everything from mood to blood flow to testosterone. Harold began taking just one simple dose of vitamin B6 about 30 minutes before bed, not a megadose. Not a cocktail of supplements, just that one. By the end of the first week, he wasn't waking up as much. By week 2, his mood improved. He described it as feeling light on the inside. But the real moment came in week 3. He looked at me, almost surprised, and said, "I actually wanted to be with my wife again. More than that, I could." That's the magic of giving the body what it needs when it needs it. You don't have to force it. You just have to support the natural rhythm that's already there. Ouch. And when that rhythm returns, when your brain, blood, and hormones start speaking, the same language again, or erections improve. Your sleep deepens, your vitality reawakens. All from just one vitamin taken at the right time. But there's more to the story, because B6 unlocks the drive yes but. What if your blood vessels are still too tight to respond? What if the flow itself is blocked? That's where the next nutrient comes in. It's not a vitamin. It's a powerful mineral that helps open the channels, relax the arteries, and flood the body with the circulation it's been missing. And for many men, it's the one missing link between desire and performance. Let's talk about it. 3. Magnesium glycinate. The erection relaxer. Some men think erections are all about desire. Others think it's all about testosterone. But there's something they almost always forget: relaxation. Not mental relaxation, though that matters. Talking about the relaxation of the arteries, the smooth muscles, the vascular pathways that allow blood to actually flow into the penis in the first place. I remember Ken. He was 66, a former firefighter, still active, still tough-minded, but secretly struggling. "Doc," he said, "I still want to be with my wife, but when the moment comes, I just can't stay hard. I feel frustrated, ashamed, and honestly afraid she stopped wanting me to." We ran his labs. His testosterone was decent. Blood sugar wasn't the issue. But one thing stood out. He was severely deficient in magnesium. What most men don't realize is that magnesium plays a vital role in the body's ability to relax. Blood vessels regulate blood pressure and keep the nerves firing properly. And when levels are low, especially after 60, everything tightens. Blood flow slows. Erections become weaker. Sleep becomes shallow. The body simply can't let go. That's where magnesium glycinate comes in. All the forms of magnesium glycinate is my go-to for older men because it crosses the blood-brain barrier. It calms the central nervous system, quiets racing thoughts, and gently lowers nighttime blood pressure. But even more important, it promotes nitric oxide release, the very compound responsible for triggering strong, full erections. Ken began. taking just one small dose of magnesium glycinate before bed. That was it. Within days, his sleep improved. He told me it was the first time in years he slept 6 straight hours without waking up. By the second week, he felt more energized in the morning, less groggy, more clear. But what moved him the most was something unexpected. He said, "I woke up with a real erection, not just a twitch, something solid. It felt like I had my body back." There was relief in his voice, gratitude too, but most of all, there was confidence. And that's what happens when you give your body what it needs to restore balance and flow. You don't need stimulants. You don't need harsh medications. Sometimes all it takes is one mineral taken at the right time to release the tension that's been silently holding your body back. But here's the thing. Even if the blood can now flow, we still have to protect the tiny arteries that carry it there. And as men age, those vessels become vulnerable, damaged by time, toxins, and inflammation. That's where the next vitamin becomes essential. It's the one that shields your circulation like armor and gives your erections the strength they deserve. Let's take a closer look. For vitamin E, the artery protector heat was 72. A retired school principal, well put together, pressed shirts, polished shoes, sharp mind. But underneath that neat exterior, he was quietly battling something that most men never talk about. He sat down in my office, cleared his throat, and said, "Dr. Laura, I feel like my body isn't listening to me anymore. I want to perform, but nothing responds the way it used to." His blood pressure was up. His cholesterol wasn't terrible, but not ideal either. But more importantly, circulation was slowing, especially where it mattered most. I explained to him something I tell many of my patients. Erections aren't just about hormones or desire. They're vascular events completely dependent on the health and flexibility of the smallest blood vessels in your body. And these tiny vessels, especially those in the penis, are the first to suffer from aging and inflammation. That's where vitamin E becomes a powerful ally, especially when taken before bed. Vitamin E is known as a fat-soluble antioxidant. But to me, it's so much more than that. Circulatory protection in a capsule. It safeguards the delicate endothelial lining of your arteries, the very layer responsible for releasing nitric oxide. It's the chemical that causes blood vessels to expand and fill the penis with blood. At night, when your body shifts into repair mode, vitamin E helps cleanse oxidative stress, reduce arterial inflammation, and prevent cholesterol from hardening those vessels. It literally allows your body to reopen the pathways to stronger, fuller erections while you sleep. Carl began taking just one small dose of natural vitamin E before bed. Within a few weeks, he began sleeping more soundly and waking up feeling rested, not just physically, but emotionally. Then came the morning when he called my office, almost whispering through the phone, "Tell the doctor it worked." When he came in for follow-up, his blood pressure had lowered, his confidence had risen. And something else was back. His sense of being a man. That's the beauty of vitamin E. You don't feel it like caffeine. It doesn't force anything but slowly. Quietly, it restores blood flow from the inside out. Just one small act before bed you give your body the armor it needs to fight back against time. And once that protection is in place, once the blood can flow freely, you need to make sure your body knows what to do with it. That brings us to a trace mineral that most men never think about, but that your testosterone and your prostate are begging for. It may be the most masculine mineral on the planet, and without it, no amount of blood flow will bring your performance back. Let's talk about it. 5. Zinc. The testosterone gatekeeper there was a man named Leonard, who I saw not long ago. He was 69, still worked part-time at his local hardware store, and had the warm, easy confidence of a man who'd once been the strongest guy in the room. But during our visit, that confidence gave way to something more vulnerable. He leaned forward and said, "Dr. Laura, I still love my wife. I still want her, but things don't work the way they used to, and I don't want to just accept that." We reviewed his labs, His testosterone was low, not dangerously so, but not optimal either. Okay. His prostate was beginning to show signs of aging, and his energy dipped sharply by early afternoon. But one thing stood out most. Leonard was zinc deficient. And in men over 60, that's not just a detail, it's a warning sign. Zinc is the mineral every man needs if he wants to preserve sexual function, hormone strength, and prostate health. But timing matters. When you take zinc at night before bed, you align it with your body's natural hormone production cycle. When it does its best work, zinc fuels the release of luteinizing hormone, the chemical messenger that signals your testicles to produce testosterone. And when testosterone is low, your desire fades. Your erections weaken and your energy collapses. Zinc also supports sperm production, improves the health of prostate tissue, and blocks estrogen buildup, something that becomes more common as we age. Leonard started taking just a 15 milligrams dose of zinc before bed. Not a multivitamin blend, not a stack of supplements, just that one targeted dose. Within 10 days, he felt clearer. By week 3, he told me his motivation had returned. But what meant the most to him was what happened between him and his wife. We held each other again, he said, not just physically, but as husband and wife. I felt like myself again. And I see that again and again because when you nourish your body at the right time, the results don't just happen in your blood. They show up in your life. Restored energy, stronger erections, a sense of masculine identity that's deeper than muscle. It's the quiet knowing that your body is still working, still alive. But here's the thing most men don't realize. It's not just one nutrient doing all the work. Sometimes it's about synergy, about two key forces working together, like old teammates. One calming your system, the other fueling it so your body doesn't just survive the night, it rebuilds during it. And that's where we're headed next. Because the next strategy I'll show you combines two powerful ingredients into one nighttime ritual that repairs your nerves, restores your circulation, and reignites the very spark that made you feel alive in the first place. Let's dive into that. 6. B complex. The energy and blood supporter. I once treated a man named Daniel, 70 years old, a retired postal worker. He was the type of guy who always put others first. Raised a family, worked hard his whole life, rarely complained. But the day he came into my office, there was something heavy behind his eyes. He sat down and said, "Doc, I feel like my body's fading. I'm tired all the time. My sleep's a mess, and I haven't felt strong in months, not as a man, not as a partner." He wasn't depressed. He wasn't sick. But his blood work told a story, a quiet deficiency in B vitamins. The kind that slowly chips away at your foundation. And what most men don't realize is that these B vitamins aren't just for energy. They're vital for erections, blood flow, and restorative sleep. Each B vitamin plays a different role. B1 and B to help power the heart and nervous system. B3 supports blood vessel dilation, increasing blood flow throughout the body, including to the penis. B5 and B6 help regulate stress hormones like cortisol, which can sabotage testosterone when elevated at night. B9 and B12 are essential for healthy red blood cells and nitric oxide production, the very chemical your body needs to generate strong erections. Now, here's where the timing matters. When Daniel began taking a high-quality B complex vitamin before bed, everything changed. Not overnight, but gradually, night after night. His body started working with itself instead of against itself. He told me his mind felt clearer in the morning. His energy didn't crash after lunch, and by the 3rd week, something else returned. Morning wood stronger than he'd had in years. "I didn't think that was still possible," he said, his voice cracking a little. "It made me feel whole again." I've seen over and over in my practice is that when older men nourish their nervous system, their vascular system follows. Your heart pumps stronger, your brain feels sharper. And yes, your erections respond with strength, confidence, and staying power. It doesn't take a dozen pills. Sometimes it's just one vitamin complex taken with purpose at the right time before bed. when your body is ready to recover. But as powerful as that B complex is on its own, something even more remarkable happens when it's paired with the right partner 1 mineral that calms your nervous system, enhances absorption, and creates the perfect internal environment for nightly repair. And when these two combine, you get a recovery rhythm so powerful, many men report feeling younger, stronger, and more centered than they have in decades. Let's explore that nighttime synergy next. 7. B complex plus magnesium. The nightly power combo. There's something special that happens when two ingredients work together, when they support each other, amplify each other, and allow your body to heal in a way that feels almost effortless. I've seen it countless times in my practice. But one story stays with me. His name was Frank. He was 74, widowed, lived alone in a quiet suburb, a gentleman. Proud, but quiet. When he first came to see me, he didn't speak about sex or intimacy. He simply said, "I'm tired, doctor. I don't sleep. I don't feel right. My body feels like it's shutting down slowly." We did a full workup, and while nothing major jumped out, one thing became clear. His nervous system was on edge, his circulation was lagging, and he was deficient in both B vitamins and magnesium. And the truth is that's incredibly common in men his age. The body doesn't absorb like it used to. Stress depletes what little reserves are left. And without support, the systems that give us vitality, circulation, testosterone, sleeps start falling apart. So I gave Frank one simple instruction. Take a high-quality B complex along with magnesium glycinate about an hour before bed. No prescriptions, no hormones, just these two nutrients working together. What happened over the next few weeks was nothing short of remarkable. He began sleeping deeper. He stopped waking up 3-4 times a night. His energy began lasting into the afternoon. But the real change came when he walked into my office one morning, looked me in the eye, and said, "Something's different. I feel like a man again." He said he was waking up with stronger erections. His mind felt sharper, his body lighter. Smiled. I didn't realize how far I'd slipped until I started to come back. That's the power of synergy. The B complex nourishes your blood, your nerves, your hormone pathways. Magnesium calms the system, improves absorption, and opens up the very vessels your blood needs to reach. Together, they reset the rhythm that's been lost. And for men over 60, that rhythm is everything. It's not about being perfect. It's about feeling like you again rested, ready, steady. One simple combo, one quiet act of self-respect before bed, and the results speak for themselves. More energy, deeper sleep, and erections that remind you your body still works. But here's the catch. Most men never stick with it. They give up too soon. They expect overnight miracles or take things at the wrong time of day. And it's exactly why they fail. So before we move forward, let me show you the most common mistakes older men make and how you can avoid them to finally get the results you've been hoping for. 8. Why most men fail. The common mistake. This next part is difficult to say, but it's something I have to tell every man who walks into my office because I've seen too many give up when they were just a few steps away from real change. The truth is, most men fail not because their body can't heal, but because they expect it to heal on their timeline, not the body's. There was one patient in particular, 65, strong guy, proud, used to fixing things himself. When I recommended one simple supplement, just a single dose of magnesium glycinate before bed, he took it for 3 nights, saw no difference, and quit. He came back frustrated. "It didn't work, doc. I'm still tired, still no morning wood." I asked him, "Ron, how long did it take for your health to decline?" He paused. "Years," he said. "Decades? Maybe." I looked him in the eye and gently said, "Then why would you expect to fix it in 72 hours? Here's what I've learned after 30 years in men's health. Healing isn't loud. It's subtle. It's a slow rebuilding that happens night after night, layer after layer. When you nourish your body at the right time, the men who succeed are the ones who stay consistent, who don't skip nights. Understand that the body speaks in signals, not shouts. Another common mistake? Taking vitamins and minerals in the morning when your body is in stress mode. Most men pop a capsule with coffee and expect it to give them energy, but in reality, your body does most of its repair while you sleep. That's when testosterone is produced, blood vessels are restored, and neurotransmitters are reset. When you take the right nutrient, just one, before bed, you give your body the raw material to do its job naturally, not forcing it, not stimulating. It just supporting the system that already knows how to heal. And finally, many men simply take the wrong form, cheap synthetic vitamins with low absorption rates or megadoses that overload the liver. That's not the answer. Never was. What your body wants is something gentle, bioavailable, and well-timed. So if you've tried before and nothing worked, maybe it wasn't your fault. Maybe you were just missing the timing, the patience, or the right form. But once you fix those three things, the change can feel almost effortless now. I know you might be wondering, if I stick with it, how long will it take before I actually feel different? When will the energy come back? When will I wake up hard again? That's exactly what we're going to talk about next. 'Cause when you nourish your body with the right support at night, there's a very real transformation that begins. I'll walk you through exactly what to expect day by day, week by week. Let's break it down. 9. What to expect in 7, 14, and 30 nights. The road to recovery. One of the most common questions I hear, whether from men in their 60s or their 80s, is this: Doc, how long before I start to feel something again? And I get it. When your body has been numb, tired, or disconnected for years, the idea of change can feel far away. But when you begin taking even just one right vitamin or mineral before bed consistently, something starts to shift slowly, yes, but deeply. Let me tell you about Richard, 73. He was skeptical. He'd tried everything: powders, pills, prescriptions, but he agreed to try just one thing: magnesium glycinate before bed every night. No exceptions, I told him. Don't look for fireworks. Look for flickers, little signs your body is coming back online. By the 7th night, he noticed something small but important. He was sleeping through the night. He wasn't tossing or waking to use the bathroom 3 times, and he felt less anxious, like his body had finally exhaled. By day 14, he told me something had changed in the mornings. Doc, he said, I'm not only waking up more rested, I'm waking up with a response down there. It's not where I want it yet, but it's something. And that something gives me hope. It's exactly what the body does. When nourished and supported, it begins to show you quiet signs of repair: better circulation, clearer thoughts, calmer nights. By the 30th night, Richard stood taller. His skin looked better. His handshake was firmer. Said, I feel like I'm driving my own body again, not just riding in it. And when he said he and his partner had reconnected physically and emotionally, he teared up. I didn't think this part of life was still possible. It is. For him, for you, for any man who's willing to give his body just one simple act of care before bed. Now, let's be honest. Not every man sees changes at the same pace. Some feel improvements quickly. Others take a little longer. But the results follow the same path: deeper sleep, more energy, firmer erections. It all begins from the inside out. And the key isn't going all out. It's staying steady. You don't need to change your whole life. You don't need a mountain of pills. Just the right nutrient at the right time can unlock what your body has been missing. So here's the real question. What's your next move? Now that you know what's possible, how do you keep it going? How do you stay on track, stay strong, and make this your new everyday? In this last part, I'll show you exactly how to keep these gains, avoid common mistakes, and build a nighttime routine that keeps you feeling like your best self for years. Let's finish strong. 10. The bottom line: one small change, one big comeback. If there's one thing I want you to remember, it's this: your body hasn't quit on you. It's just waiting for you to give it what it needs, night after night. Your body is still working, still trying to fix, still trying to rebuild the very things that give you strength, energy, and passion. I've helped so many men on this journey, men who felt hopeless, wondering if they'd ever feel that fire again, and again and again. I've seen something amazing happen when they made one simple shift, giving their body the right vitamin or mineral before bed, not randomly, but with focus, consistency, and belief. Maybe it's vitamin D3 to lift testosterone, magnesium to ease stress, vitamin E to protect your heart, zinc to fuel your drive, or a B complex to recharge your battery. Each one plays a role, but when taken at night, in that quiet moment, they don't just work, they heal. I've seen relationships come back to life. Mornings get brighter and confidence return. Not because of some magic cure, but because a man decided to take care of himself again. So tonight, start your comeback. Choose your nutrient. Take it with intention. Close your eyes, not just to sleep, but to rebuild the strength you've been missing. It's still there. And you're just getting started. This is only the beginning.